SkywayTj. Let's just jump right into it. Today, we're going to be ranking all 9 of the superhero movies that came out in 2023. The superhero genre is one of my favorites, although this year, it's been kind of hit or miss. Mostly more leaning towards miss, as you'll see. But without further ado, let's rank these 9 movies. At the very bottom of the superhero genre this year, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. This is the sequel to Shazam that came out this year, and as I said in my worst movies of the year video, it just felt bland. It felt pretty safe. This movie came out whenever Warner Brothers pretty much told us that the DCEU was dead, and then they were just kind of releasing the rest of their movies, and that would be the end of the DCEU, and then we're getting a restart in 2025 with James Gunn taking over and everything, which is fun. But that just kind of made these 3 movies that came out this year feel kind of pointless and stupid, and nobody liked them. And then they didn't even try to really promote them very well. The villains in this are very bad. Billy Batson and Shazam, Zachary Levi, what he's playing, feel completely different as characters. It's just kind of boring. There are fun moments in it. There's a fun, family dynamics. Those are always good. But it's muddled down with a bunch of stupid shit and Wonder Woman cameos, and it's just dumb. It's not good. Right after that, I have Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I just saw this last night, and it's probably the safest movie you could ever make in the superhero genre. It doesn't really invent anything new. Aquaman and his brother are going on a little adventure to stop Black Manta. It's fine, but a lot of it doesn't make any sense, and it just feels extremely safe and nothing new. Jason Momoa is clearly having the time of his life. Patrick Wilson does a great job as Orm. He's probably the best part about the movie. But it just goes on this thing of Warner Brothers referencing themselves like 40 times. They reference Batman, they reference Loki, they reference Iron Man, they reference Azkaban. It's just like reference. It's just kind of bland, kind of boring. It's not bad. It's just average as hell. It's just, I don't know. If this is the last movie the DCU does, and it just kind of feels like it fizzled out and gave up. After that, I have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I don't really hate this movie as much as the internet seems to. I do think it is the worst, probably, out of the Ant-Man movies. It just feels like a lot was going against it. Kang is supposed to be being set up as like the big villain of the MCU in this, and like he does kind of go out kind of like a bitch. I get why he went out, but I don't know. The whole character of MODOK is weird. Like, it's funny, but it's weird. I don't know. I think Stature is fine, but I kind of wanted to see what the old actress was going to do. Catherine Newton is cool, but like, I don't know. The whole tone of the movie is kind of all over the place, and I'm kind of sick of them using Ant-Man movies as a way to just like set up future plot lines in the MCU, if that makes sense. Like in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Scott got trapped in the quantum realm so he could like eventually, save the day in Endgame, and now this was setting up Kang, even though I think Kang is being canceled. Probably going to be written out of the MCU with all the Jonathan Majors bullshit. Whatever. Quantumania is fine. It's a watchable movie. It's entertaining in parts, but it just feels kind of rushed and like not really an Ant-Man story. Like the first Ant-Man was good because it's about a heist and everything. And now they just kind of feel like weird setup movies. I don't know. At number 6, I have The Flash. When I first came out of The Flash, I gave it like a kind of okay, high-ish rating because I think it was just recency bias, and I thought it was fun and visually fun to look at. Thinking about it down the road, it's okay. It's not great. It was in production hell for fucking ever, and you can't overlook Ezra Miller's criminal escapades and what it really did to impact how people feel about this movie and everything. That being said, the whole 2 Barry things can get kind of annoying, and it's, it's fine. It's fun to watch. Michael Keaton coming back as Batman is cool, but like, I feel like he really didn't care that much. I don't know. I like the person that got to play Superwoman. That was fun. I don't know. It just feels like, again, because the DCU gave up, this movie just kind of feels not important. I don't know. It's alright, but there's just too much going against it for me to really, really enjoy it. Especially those CGI scenes at the end where they try to like make you feel something by putting all these cameos everywhere. That was weird. Nicolas Cage as Superman, though. That was funny. At number 5, I have The Marvels. This movie came out. It's the shortest MCU movie. It came out. It came out like right when the writer's strike was, and the writing and acting strike was ending. So there was no promo going towards this, and it kind of feels like it's going to be a product of that. It has the lowest box office of any Marvel movie, but I liked the Marvels. I thought it was a fun, stupid little story that I could just watch real quick and move on about my life. The characters of Kamala Khan and Captain Marvel and Spectrum or Photon or whatever they're going to end up calling her, all of them together is very fun. It's you know, they work well off of each other, especially Kamala Khan. Aman Vellani is carrying this movie, by the way. Yeah, all the flirting stuff. It's fun. It's a fun time. It's kind of all over the place, but it's enjoyable to watch. I think it's better than Captain Marvel, to be quite fucking honest. I don't know. I enjoyed this. It's not gonna blow everyone away, but like, you know, at the end of the day, it was better than those other four. So take your pick. The last four I would consider, you know, actually pretty damn good. Really fun time of the movies. Number 4, I have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. This movie is animated, and it seems like either people who worked on the SpiderVerse movies or these people were inspired by those. But the animation style in this is so fucking unique and fun to look at. Plus, the characters of the Turtles are actually played by teenagers, so they feel like teenagers for once instead of like 20-year-old men. It's fun. They let the kids act in the same booth so they could like bounce off each other. There's references in here that might age poorly, but it's just fun to hear lingo being spoken by these turtles that they would obviously hear in modern times. It's fun. It's a fun time. We're getting more of these, which is great. Really great movie. Number 3, I have the Blue Beetle, or just Blue Beetle, my bad. This movie, it's not spectacular, I would say, but it's fun to watch, and the characters are really, really interesting in this. I like how the Blue Beetle looks and everything. I like the family dynamic a lot between the main character and his family. Of course, that's good. The love interest is actually interesting to watch. The villain, of course, is generic as hell, and like this movie probably would have been like amazing in like 2008, but I think in terms of this year, that was one of those movies I came out of that I enjoyed, and I was like, yeah, that was a good superhero time, because it wasn't, I don't know, it's in the DCEU, but I think James Gunn has said the Blue Beetle will continue on into his DCU, which I hope it does, because this movie was fun. I don't think a lot of people gave it enough credit, or they even went to go watch it. It had a pretty low box office, but it was fun, and you should watch it because it was fun. These last two should come at no surprise, to be quite honest. And number 2, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This movie is James Gunn's last film in the MCU, and he put everything into Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is a beautiful story for Rocket, and it really shows how much he's grown in the MCU and everything. You get a personal story with Rocket. All the other Guardians are at the top of their game. You get to see the fallout between you get to see the fallout between Gamora and Peter and how they're dealing with the things that happened to them in Endgame and everything. It's so good. The villain is one of the most horrifying and terrible people we've ever seen in the MCU. And we get a final send-off for the Guardians, which is probably, honestly, it might be my favorite team in the entire MCU. The Avengers are there, but you barely ever see them together these days. The Guardians just feel like a family unit, and seeing them go their separate ways at the end really just hurt me a lot. I kind of don't want them to do any more Guardians movies in the MCU without James Gunn. So if this is the last time we'll see the Guardians all together like this, then I'm fine with that. But at no surprise, number 1 superhero movie this year is Across the Spider-Verse. It's really no competition. The animation team that is behind these movies knows what they're doing. They're creating a beautiful story, and that movie had so many iconic moments and memes that came out throughout this year that it's just so good. With all the canon event and the characters. I'm very excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse. I don't know where they're going to take the story, but I need it now. The only real negative about Across the Spider-Verse is that it ended on that cliffhanger. I get it, I understand, but it does tell one full story pretty much in itself. But this movie, this trilogy of movies might become the greatest Spider-Man thing we've ever had by the end of it. We'll have to see it Beyond the Spider-Verse, but I cannot wait for that movie. And that's why Across the Spider-Verse is number 1. Well, guys, that was me ranking all the superhero movies that came out in 2023. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, go ahead and like, subscribe if you feel like it. And I'll be back soon with more rankings. Might rank the entire DCEU now that it's dead. That kind of sounds fun. The best of the year is coming. I saw one more movie I need to see if it's going to crack the top 10. And I'll make that video. Yeah, there's going to be videos all throughout the new year. So if you like what you see, stick around. If not, thanks. Bye-bye.